Every edtech company wants the same thing: more learners, more engagement, and eventually more revenues. But the reality is that most edtech startups fail not because of bad courses, but because they track the wrong KPIs. After spending over 5 years in FP&A for leading edtech companies and now running my own edtech venture, I have seen firsthand which numbers truly drive growth, engagement, and profitability. So, in this video, I'll break down the top 10 EdTech KPIs that every learning platform must track to scale sustainably. So, let's dive in. So, let us start with the most visible sign of the EdTech company's growth: the new registered learners growth. This measures how fast your platform is attracting new users, and it is the top of the funnel metric that shows brand awareness and market penetration. Let us understand with and help of an example. If your platform had 10,000 registered learners at the end of last month and they become 12,000 learners by the end of next month, that's a 20% growth rate in the total registered learners. For FP&A teams, this metric helps forecast user acquisition, helps set marketing budgets, and also predict when you will be hitting the scaling thresholds. But by having registered learners doesn't mean that they are always active. That's where our next KPI comes in, which is the monthly active free learners. Think about the monthly active learners as your company's engagement heartbeat. It tracks how many free users are actively learning, watching, or interacting with your platform each and every month. Why this matters is because the free users today are your future paid learners. A large and engaged free user base can predict paid conversions in the future potentially. For FP&A teams, we use the monthly active learner trends to model conversion rates, forecast bandwidth needs, and assess the platform stickiness. Now, engagement is great, but sustainability comes from monetization. That's where our next KPI comes in. EdTech KPI number three is your average revenue per learner, also known as ARPU. ARPU shows how much revenues you earn per learner, whether it is through subscriptions, courses, or certifications. For example, if your platform earns $100,000 from 10,000 learners, then your average revenue per user or ARPU is $10. ARPU is the bridge between the growth and monetization. FP&A teams use it to assess the pricing strategy and the revenue per segment, whether it be from free, paid, or from enterprise customers. Now, we've talked about the revenue side. Next, let us talk about the cost side as well. How much are you spending to acquire those learners? That brings us to our KPI number four: customer acquisition cost. Now, CAC tells you the average cost to acquire a new paying learner. For example, if you spend $50,000 on advertisements and acquire 1,000 paid learners, then your CAC or the customer acquisition cost per learner is $50. Now, for FP&A team, tracking CAC helps assess the marketing ROI, helps in budget allocations, and also assess the payback period on the learner acquisition. On a quick side note, if you are serious about growing your career in FP&A, then do check out our Certified Global FP&A Professional Program. CGFPA is a 6-month accredited certification in FP&A designed to help you become real business partners. If that sounds something you would be interested in, links are in the description. Also, there are a bunch of free resources that you can download on FP&A, including books and free courses. You will find all the links in the description. CAC on its own means very little without context. So you also need to know if that learner is actually profitable over the period of time. Which brings us to our EdTech KPI number five, which is the lifetime value, also known as the CLTV or the customer lifetime value. Now, LTV or CLTV tells you how much total revenue you will earn from a learner before they leave the platform or they churn. And the LTV to CAC ratio shows the return on investment for each learner acquired. Let's understand this with the help of an example. If your LTV is $200 and the CAC is $50, in this case, your LTV to CAC ratio is 4 is to 1. I would say that is a healthy ratio. Anything below 3 is to 1 would mean that the acquisition may not be sustainable. Now, LTV to CAC helps you forecast the payback period, marketing efficiency, and the long term profitability. However, not every learner who would be joining the platform would be paying you. So, let us see how many actually convert to paying users every month. That brings us to our next KPI. EdTech KPI number 6 is monthly active paid learners. It measures your core revenue generating user base learners who actually pay each month. This is important for FP&A because the monthly active paid learner is a leading indicator of subscription stickiness and success. FP&A teams track monthly fluctuations here to spot churn early. Let's understand this with the help of an example. Say if you have 8,000 users that are active on the platform, but only 800 of them pay, that's a 10% paid conversion, which is a key metric for edtech companies' scalability. Beyond individual learners, many edtech companies also sell to B2B or institutions. So, in the next set of KPIs, let's talk about the enterprise metrics. EdTech KPI number 7 is your enterprise annual recurring revenue, also known as ARR. Now, ARR for enterprises helps you track the number of corporate institutional clients like schools, colleges, or companies that are using your learning platform and the revenue that you generate annually from it. Enterprise contracts helps the company stabilize revenues, and FPA teams uses this to forecast ARR, renewal schedules, and expansion potential. Let's understand this with the help of an example. If there are 10 enterprise clients that are generating $1.2 million of revenue, that equates to 120,000 ARR per client. But just having enterprise customers isn't enough. The real also is whether these enterprise customers renew every year or expand. That's where our next KPI comes in. EdTech KPI number 8, which is net dollar retention. The net dollar retention measures how much recurring revenue you keep and grow from existing enterprise customers. For example, if you start with $100,000 ARR, you lose $10,000 and expand by $20,000. In this case, your net dollar retention is 110%. What that means is the existing customers are spending more, which is a strong retention signal. For FP&A teams, the net dollar retention drives investor confidence and long-term stability for forecasting. Now let's pivot back to the customers, which are the learners, because EdTech company success isn't just about signups; it is also about the learning outcomes. EdTech KPI number 9 is course completion rate. The course completion rate shows what percentage of learners finish the course which they started. It is your most important engagement KPI. For example, if 1000 learners start a course and only 700 finish, then your completion rate is 70%. While this may sound academic, it is financial, which means that the higher completion rate is equal to higher satisfaction, which is better retention, and it leads to more renewals. Now, the next KPI is the opposite of completion rates. EdTech KPI number 10, which is the dropout rate. The dropout rate tracks the percentage of learners who abandon a course midway. For example, if 300 out of the 1000 learners drop out, then your dropout rate is 30%. A high dropout rate signals poor course design or mismatched expectations. FP&A uses this with product teams to project future refunds and the lifetime value decline. That's all the KPIs we discussed. The new learner growth and the monthly active learners track your audience base. The average revenue per user, CAC, and LTV shows financial efficiency. The number of paid learners and the enterprise ARR measure the monetization depth, while the net dollar retention reveals the retention power. The completion and the dropout rates tell you whether the learner is actually engaged and completing the courses. So together, all of these KPIs tell a powerful story of growth, engagement, and profitability for any edtech company. If you found this video helpful, hit that like and subscribe button for more videos like this. And let me know in the comments which other industry KPIs should I cover in my next video. Also, don't forget to check out the links for free courses, books, and resources. All the links are in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.